Welcome back. Clocks on the stove. I believe Zach said episode 94, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Almost at the big triple digits. We're getting there. We're getting there. Your usual host, myself, Christian Fisher, with me, Mr. Zachary Watts, who is actually doing this podcast out of my sister's bedroom because he's in town and we didn't have a room. So shout
I,
out Messina.
I really hope our viewers don't take that the wrong way.
Yeah. Shout out Messina for letting Zach use her room. Also, yeah, let's get into why we're here. UFC 291, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje 2 for the UFC BMF baddest motherfucker title of the world. Super cringe, but definitely helps get the not MMA followers, your typical everyday sports guys into this fight, I believe, in Salt Lake City, Utah. Banger of a card. Banger of a card. Zach, before we dive in, you have anything you'd like to state?
Um, I am wearing all black right now. So for our viewers, that might seem a little weird, but it's because I'm dressed for the occasion, and I'm praying for Jan Blachowicz's funeral. Although I have nothing against Jan, my Pereira, like what I envision is Pereira wins, and then Izzy moves up to fight Pereira for the vacant belt. So then you have the trilogy fight, and you have Adesanya's double champ status on the line, and
You think this is what the UFC low key wants?
not even low key. Dana probably like sits in a room at night and just like applies lube to his head. And he just rubs his head thinking about it. He's like,
We
oh
need
my god,
Pereira to win. We need Pereira to win.
yeah. He's literally gonna make it illegal for he's gonna tell Jan under the table. He goes, for every round you don't shoot a takedown, I'm gonna pay you $1 million.
I was about to be straight boxing.
Yeah, I'm interested to see in the leg. We'll get to that fight later. We'll start talking about that fight later.
Yeah, let's dive in. We're only gonna talk about one prelim, and it's a prelim you already can think of. Mr. Derrick the Black Beast Lewis coming in at a plus 190, fighting Marcos Rodrigo de Lima coming in at minus 230.
Mm.
Derrick Lewis 26-11-0, De Lima 21-9-1. Lewis is on a little skiddy skid. He goes on this tear where his only loss was, DC. Then he got knocked out by Junior Dos Santos, which everyone was like, oh, that's weird. Then he went on a tear of wins again, then got knocked out by Cyril Gahn, who we all thought he was going to beat, and then beats Dawkins, and they're like, oh, he's back. He's Gucci. Like, he's fine. And then gets knocked out by Tai Tuivasa, gets knocked out by Sergey Pavlovich, and then loses via submission to Spivog. So he's not doing too hot. He's not doing too hot. I don't know this guy he's fighting, though.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of his fights. I mean, in the dude's last three, he's 2-1. He lost to Ivanov, by unanimous decision back in May 7th of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is more so to just allow Derrick Lewis to get a win and be entertaining on the mic to like keep
Build the card a
fans.
little.
Yeah, build the card a little. You can't go wrong after Derrick Lewis win. You never know what he's gonna say. It's a little loose cannon. He may talk about the temperature of his balls. He may or may not reference other women, or he may just completely shit on the Brazilian people for some reason because that's just the kind of guy Derrick Lewis is. He really doesn't care and won't hold anything back. So you're sure to be in for a good post game speech if he wins.
Have you heard the story of when a guy tried to break into his car?
And he beat him to death.
He just videotapes the guy getting into his car, flips the camera on himself, ends the video, and the video picks up, and it's just him handing him to the police. He's just like handing the guy over like a corpse.
Oh my god. I don't know what would be worse. Like, just imagine the thought process of like, yeah, I'm gonna break into this guy's car. Oh shit, the guy whose car I'm breaking into caught me. Oh shit, it's Derrick Lewis.
Oh shit, it's a 6'5", 300-pound black man. Oh shit, it's Derrick Lewis.
Yeah, not the best way your day could go, if I may add.
Mm-mm.
Quite possibly one of the worst days you could be having, personally. But then again, I've never had my ass beat by Derrick Lewis, so I couldn't speak from experience. Not yet, at least.
So we're looking at this fight, Zach. What are we thinking? Obviously it's gonna be a big psychological thing for Derrick. You think about that stuff. If you want to say you do, you don't, you do. You're gonna think about, your skid that you've had. The other thing I'm looking at too is he's talking about how he's cutting weight for this fight and he's on a nutrition meal and he's like way healthier and he's joking that he has abs. I don't know if this is truth or this is him like distracting the fact that like, oh, I don't care about, I've changed, blah blah. It's really hard for me to tell because I don't know much about DeLima at all. But 17 of his 21 wins are by finish. So
Yeah,
this fight's not going to the decision.
yeah. Derrick Lewis isn't really known for his fights going to decision, especially fights that are winnable for him. I definitely think he still possesses that just one punch knockout power like he always has. I did see his weigh-in video. He did show a lot slimmer figure. It was really surprising. And then I don't know, they just posted the video not even 30 minutes ago. So we'll try to repost that on our page. But I was looking at that and I was laughing because it kind of looks like he like just painted on abs a little bit. Like I can't tell if it's just like just really good makeup job, but he does feature a little slimmer figure. I don't know if that's just from his dieting. I don't know if his cardio has improved a lot over the past like training camp or so because he's always made references to say like I really need to get my ass back on that bike because I need to get my cardio up. But at the same time, like if you're winning and you trust in your abilities, I don't feel like you need to change much. I feel like he's at that point of his career as well, where like he's not necessarily like belt chasing, where like Tony is, where like Tony's mindset is always like 5-5 win streak and a title fight. It's what we're shooting for. Like
I think
Derrick
that's
Lewis,
awesome though. I'm not gonna lie, I do think that's awesome.
I do think it's awesome that you can have that confidence in yourself, but I do still respect the guys like Derrick Lewis and some of these other fighters that realize a title may not be in their cards at the moment, so they're just going out
Yeah, but he
there.
still wants to get back to being a top five fighter in the world.
Oh yeah, no, he's always going to go out there and do his best, but like I don't think it's like a lingering thought in his mind where he's like, I need to have that like number next to my name or like I need to have it. It's just he's going out there to prove it for himself. He doesn't really like care about any of the other shit that comes with it. Obviously, the higher your rank, the better your payouts are going to be for your fights. But at the same time, I'm sure he makes good money where he's at right now. To say
Let's
the
talk
least.
about what people really want to hear, Zach. Let's talk about what do you think is gonna happen in this fight? Who do you have winning and how?
Um, you know, I want to say Derrick Lewis. I'm going to say Derrick Lewis second round finish. I was interested to say the third, but I just feel like if the fight goes to the third anyway, Lewis probably isn't winning. He is an underdog as well. So if I do see him winning as an underdog, he's probably going to have to catch the dude, and he tends to catch his opponents earlier rather than later. Most of his knockout wins come in the earlier rounds of the fights. So, I'm gonna go with Derrick Lewis second round knockout.
So I'm really torn because I want to say Derek Lewis, but it's just really hard to hop on that Derek Lewis train right now. I also have never heard of this DeLima guy. I am not going to pick a winner. I'm just going to pick the fight will go under 2.5.
Fair. I like that. I like that. It's just whenever and maybe it's just some prejudice on my part, but every time I see that like Brazilian flag next to anyone's name, I'm like, yep, this guy's gonna leg kick this dude into oblivion and either submit him or just get a decision win. I just don't like Brazilians to me just don't like scream knockout power compared to like your
Well, he's
odds.
got 16 of them, 13 of them. So,
Well, he's a heavyweight, so they tend
yeah.
to pack a harder punch.
But let's tap into the reason everyone's here, the reason why we're really here too. Our main card of the evening, starting us off at the welterweight division. Michael Chiesa coming in at a plus 125 at 18-6-0 versus Kevin Holland coming in at a minus 150, 24-9-0. I want to double check this before I say something stupid. No, I'm right. This is Michael Chiesa's first fight in 2 years. I am a Michael Chiesa stan 100%. I'm not gonna lie to you. I am a huge fucking fan of both him and Kevin Holland, and it really sucks to see one of them lose Saturday. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
Terrence McKinney said it best in his tweet. He get this is the first fight he's watched where he has to watch his old wrestling coach take on his current teammate. And he's going to be happy for whoever wins, but he's going to be distraught for whoever loses. Like
It's
he's like,
exactly how I feel. I mean,
yeah,
I'm obviously not to the extreme of Terrence McKinney, but
yeah,
I feel that same way. Um, I so Chiesa went on a little tear. You know, he beat Condit, Diego Sanchez, Rafael dos Anjos, and Neil Magny, and then they were like, all right, him versus Vicente Luque was supposed to be the fight that's like this is the next guy. Like this guy's gonna crack the top five, and he shit the bed and got submitted by Vicente. Then he got ragdolled by Sean Brady, and then he took 2 years off, got some surgeries. You know, he's a family man, probably spent some time with his kids, like got his shit figured out together. But Kevin Holland is another guy. I feel like they're kind of in the same fucking shoes, to be honest. Kevin Holland went on a little run, lost to Hamzat on a bullshit fight, lost to Stephen Thompson in a war, and then fought Santiago and whooped his ass. It's like two guys in the same journey, in my opinion, if that makes sense.
yeah. The way I kind of view it is, Kevin Holland never really needs a number by his name to like be respected as a fighter. Everyone knows this man shows up for anybody and just goes out there, and his skill set, with his like kung fu background, how good he is and just what he's capable of. And with Chiesa, I know it's been a while. I know he's finally bouncing back, but it's just really hard to place my money on anyone other than Kevin Holland, considering what he's been able to accomplish in the UFC. And really, any fight he loses, you can always point to just like something in the fight or something about the fight that would explain why the fight went one way or the other. When I look at his Wonder Boy fight, it was just a lack of respect for the old vet. He
Well,
just
he
didn't
also
think.
broke his hand.
Yeah, he broke his hand, but just he even said in the fight, he's like, I had no idea this man was this fast at 40 years old. And then with the Kamzat fight, it was just like that was a complete mismatch to begin with. And dude took it on that night notice because they had some back out in the last
Yeah,
second. It was like
yeah.
some complete buffoonery that occurred.
No, because Hamza missed weight by 8 pounds.
Yeah, which I still think is BS. Because like
I still
the
think it's a
fact,
little inside of a job.
yeah, the fact that you could have like 6 fighters agree on switching around who they're fighting on the night of the fight just seems a little too far fetched in my opinion. But like I said, just seems too good to be true. But regardless, I am going to lean towards Kevin Holland in this fight. I'm more of a fan than him. It is a pick more so from my heart than my mind. I just don't know how well Chiesa is going to be given his time off and recovering from those injuries. I don't really know what he has in store. I mean, he's still a ranked fighter, so obviously they still respect him and his abilities, and I understand that. But I think Kevin Holland has all the tools to get it done, especially given his style with his stand-up.
I see this fight going two ways, and it's really hard for me to see it any other way. I see Michael Chiesa ragdolling him for 3 rounds and just like putting the hands on him because Chiesa's that's what he's good at. That's what he does. I think that's why I like him so much. Is I like his style is what I want at the highest level. Like he's 18-6-0 and 11 of his 18 wins are submissions. Like he just ragdolls people. And some call it boring, but like he goes for the finish. Like he goes for submissions every single time and he damages people. I think that's one outcome, or I think Kevin Holland peppers him and puts him away with him too. Those are the only two things I can see. I can't see Holland winning a decision, and I don't. Michael Chiesa is 0 knockouts. So he's not going to knock out Kevin Holland. But if I had a gun to my head, I think I'm going to go with Michael Chiesa decision. I think he's gonna take him down and ragdoll him. Now, I wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world for him to shoot a takedown with his head down or fucking pop an arm in there and get caught in a triangle because Kevin Holland is a submission master. I just think that the control of the fight. I think Chiesa needs to slow down his entry versus when he fought Luque. He kind of rushed it because he got like I need to get down, but I think he's gonna get the job done.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But like I said, I think it's not that I think Chiesa doesn't have the tools to get it done with his wrestling. I just feel like Kevin Holland, is going to be able, especially if he lands his shots early and he's able to like maintain the range and not do anything stupid. I mean, obviously mistakes happen. It's fighting. Like you got like Sean Strickland said it best. He goes, "It's not fun fighting these high caliber guys because you know you have to be perfect the night of your fight. Like if you're not perfect, you're gonna go to sleep. Like that's just how good everyone is." But yeah, I I just can't put my money anywhere other than Kevin Holland. He's just my guy.
No, dude, like I said at the beginning of this, I hate that someone has to lose. I love Kevin Holland,
Yeah,
but I just realistically think he can't. He has no wrestling defense, and Michael Chiesa is unbelievably good wrestling.
fair enough.
Our next fight is honestly the only fight where people talk shit, and the only fight where people have like beefed a little is Tony Ferguson versus Bobby Green. Tony Ferguson coming in plus 300. That's insane to say those words. I'm sorry. 26-8-0 versus Bobby Green coming in at a minus 390. That is fucking disrespectful. Bobby Green 29-14-1. Both these guys are vets, both been in the UFC so long. They both fought the who's of the division. These are just two guys that like they just want to bang, bro. There's been a little bit of beef. Tony Ferguson called out Bobby Green, said that he texted me on Father's Day trying to talk shit. Bobby Green's like, you haven't heard about this? Tony Ferguson said he got a text from Bobby Green on Father's Day that was like, "This El Kakui." And he was like, "Yeah." He goes, "I think I'm your opponent." And Tony was like, and he's trying to get in my head, play games on Father's Day. So I was texting him back, "Happy Father's Day, brother." And then it took a couple hours. He texted me back, "Happy Father's Day." He goes, and then I see him in the back before this press conference, and he's looking at me like all scared and timid and not saying things. He goes, and you can feel, he's like, when you're a guy of my caliber, you can feel when someone's timid and afraid of you. And Bobby Green was like, and then they interviewed Bobby Green about it later. And he was like, "Bro, I just found out I was fighting Tony, went into my phone, and I had a contact called El Kakui. And I was just trying to see if it was actually him or not." He goes, "It's not that deep." And he's like, "I ain't scared." He had a crazy outfit on too. Bobby Green's flash. They're both super flashy, which is why this fight's going to be fun. They both have good, they both are capable of banging. Damn, I don't know. Let's look at Tony. Tony's on a really bad skid right now. I mean, he went 12-0, and now he's 0-5.
Yeah, dude. I heard people talking about Tony having one of the most fraudulent like runs in the UFC. Like I was like, I know he's been on a skid recently, but you know it. Like this is a man at one point where everyone was like confirmed believers that he was the man to beat Khabib. Like,
Yeah, no, there was a whole like fucking like group of people that are like, yeah, he's the Messiah. Like he's gonna defeat Khabib.
Yeah, he's gonna scoop fake sand off the ground and blow it in his face. And
Dude,
just
but like like he's beating Danny Castillo, Glenson Tabo,
RDA.
Josh Thompson, Edson Barbosa, Lando Venata, RDA, Kevin Lee, Anthony Pettis, Donald Cerrone. And Khabib backed out on him twice. No, once was Tony, I think. But still, it's like
Hold on, brother.
he hasn't ducked nobody. And then after that, he fought Gaethje, Oliveira, Dariush, and Chandler. And then the Diaz fight was bullshit. But that also had to do with fucking.
What did he do? What did
that Dana was like, "This is your fights." I think it's that he doesn't say no. I think Tony goes up to Dana and goes, "What's the absolute hardest fucking fight you could give me that they'll say yes?" And they're like, "This guy." And he goes, "Take it. I want it." And let's not forget, and I think this never gets spoken about really. He tore his ACL and then 6 months later beat Anthony Pettis' ass. Some people don't fight for like 2 years after tearing their ACL. He did it in 6 months and he whooped his ass.
Yeah. Dude, I was on Twitter recently and somebody brought back I really miss the era of like Tony Ferguson, the type of memes. And they were like,
the best is like Tony Ferguson type of guy to hide as a bear in Dagestan to get Khabib to fight him.
My favorite one was the Harvard one. Hold on, brother, I'm learning.
Yeah. and then it's Luke Rockhold like, "You need to do your fucking homework." Yeah, dude, this can be a really fun fight. It sucks though, but I don't see any way in which Tony wins. The only way I can see The only
Not
way
a
I could see it is if he tries to make it a wrestling match and there's lay on him, but like he's gonna get peppered by Bobby Green. Bobby Green throws with volume. He throws a shit ton of strikes every round.
yeah. My only disappointment is I think Bobby's gonna put on so much pressure that we're not gonna see Tony's like weird little antics, like the scoop the ground, like blow it
Kick
in your
the
face.
ankle, like he scoops and kicks the ankle.
Yeah, he does like a random Imanari roll, or like he'll like throw a back elbow from like 8 feet away, and his opponents are usually just like, "What the fuck is going on right now?" Like, give me 12 feet away from this man at all times. But yeah, I just kind of see it where it's just more so like Tony fucks around for like a round or two, while Bobby just kind of like gets a rhythm of like what the fuck is happening here,
Mhm.
and then like second, third round, he's like, "All right, I don't want to do this anymore. This is getting kind of boring," and then just I would say starches Tony, but the problem is Tony's head is made out of non-human bones. Um, and I
Also,
think
Bobby doesn't really starch people. He kind of just like kills them with like he just drowns them in decisions.
yeah. And like Tony's the type of guy that thinks blocking punches with his face is a very effective method of fighting. By all means in a street fight, that'll work if you can break the guy's hand. But in MMA, unfortunately, they don't give you points for blocking shots with your face. So
I also love the era of Tony. Damn, my eyelash is bothering me. I also love the era of Tony where he just carried a baseball with him everywhere. Like there was no rhyme or reason. He just always had a baseball. You never seen those?
no.
He had like a little 5 month era where he had like an arm sleeve on all the time and a baseball, and he'd just be like
I
doing
remember the
press.
arm
Yeah,
I
he'd be in
remember the
press conferences. Like he's like doing a face off with Khabib, and he's just like bouncing a baseball in his hand, and everyone's like, "What the fuck?" But that's Tony. Do I think he's a psychopath? Absolutely. But fuck, man, when Tony's good, it's good in the UFC. But there, I'm gonna go Bobby Green decision.
yeah. We talk about our delusions. I brought it up earlier how Tony Ferguson was like, a lot of people were asking like, Tony, you plan on retiring after this fight? And he goes, nah, man, 5 wins in a row and a title shots in my future. And we're like, brother, have you seen what life's been like for you lately in the
I saw
octagon?
a
Like,
really good tweet about this the other day, and it was like Tony Ferguson's on the BJ Penn wave. He he's fully there mentally, and he has the confidence. Like he's like there's some fighters that they become worse not because of their skill, but because of their mental. Like that happens all the fucking time. He's not that. It's the opposite. It's his body.
yeah.
He's mentally there. He understands what to do, what not to do. He knows what's going on. Well, he's not mentally there like stable, but like fighting wise.
Okay. I don't think Tony's ever been like
Yeah, yeah.
mentally there per
But
se.
he's like his confidence is there. He believes in himself, which is huge. But his body can't do it, bro. He's been in too many fucking wars.
Yeah.
Um,
I literally watched this man soul leave his body and he like shook it off. He like
no,
told
no, yeah.
himself,
It like went to leave and he put it back. He like pulled it back in.
he's
He's
like,
like,
hold
not
on,
today,
brother.
brother. Yeah, hold
Hold
on,
on,
brother.
brother.
We're
We're
fighting.
fighting. Hold on, brother. We're fighting. So I was like, please, your chin,
Yeah,
your
he's
face
one of
is
the most
fractured.
memeable guys in MMA. But yeah, I fucking love Tony. But let's this next fight, we don't know if it's happening yet. As far as I know, I'm gonna double check real quick with on my Twitter. But as far as I know, they don't know if it's happening yet.
Yeah.
So 2 hours ago, John Anik tells us that negotiations as to whether Pereira versus Wonderboy will happen could go into the afternoon. So the fight that's supposed to happen is Stephen Wonderboy Thompson fighting Michel Pereira in the welterweight division in our feature fight of the night. Stephen Thompson at minus 140 coming in at 17, 6-1. Michel Pereira 28 and 11 and 0 at plus 120. Both guys super fun to watch. Super fun to watch. Pereira's got that. What's that style he does?
Capoeira.
Yeah, capoeira. Yeah, and it's just like flips and weird shit.
They try to get into that flow state where they like
Yeah,
rhythm dance.
and
Just
Stephen Thompson is one of the greatest strikers to ever step planet Earth. But Michel Pereira missed weight by 3 pounds today, and usually if it's like a pound or two, the guys are like, "We'll take it." But I don't know if this is a Wonder Boy thing. It could be a UFC thing too. You know what I mean? Like they could be like, "Yeah, you just can't fight." I
yeah.
don't really know the logistics in that, but I do know that as of right now, the card is currently not set to happen, and it's not like it's not happening. It's in negotiations onto what will happen. Zach,
Yeah.
2 questions for you. First, if if you're Stephen Thompson, do you accept this fight knowing that he weighed in 3 pounds heavier? Second, what do you think happens if they do fight?
First and foremost, I really just got to think about what Thompson's like future plans are. Like, if you want to make one last run for the belt, and I know he's 1-2 in his past 3 with losses to Burns and Bilal, but if you're getting up there in age, you don't have that much time left, and you really want to make a pursuit for the belt. I don't think it's in your best plan to fight a guy that's that much lower than you in the rankings who also missed weight. Like, it's a fight that really is going to play in your favor. I mean, if you're in it for the fans and the money sake of it, you're already getting a percentage of the guy's purse. Mm-hmm. You also run the benefit of getting your win bonus, and you're the fight. You're the feature.
What is it? Fight. You're the feature.
Yeah, you're the feature fight before the main event. So like the pay-per-view money is going to be there for you. So I mean, it all just depends on what your future holds. Like personally, I would love to watch him fight. I would love to watch Wonderboy go in there and put on a show. He's never disappointed in that aspect. And I never think going into a Wonderboy fight like, oh man, this is going to be a fucking doozy. Like I've never thought that. So, I would love to still see it happen. I think he would get the win regardless. But like I said, if the risks aren't worth the reward, then obviously he knows best. But I'm gonna remain optimistic. I hope he takes the fight anyway and just beats the guy's ass just to be like
sick. Yeah, take your money and whoop your ass.
Yeah, talk about a double whammy. Maybe don't miss weight next time though.
I do completely agree with you though. This is one of the few cases. So normally I'm like fight him. But this is one of the few cases where you're right. This is Wonderboy's last shot at running for the title, which I think he legitimately can do.
Yeah.
But if he takes this fight and loses, and let's say it's because Pereira's so much bigger than he thought, that's gonna fuck him. And he's not in a state where he's like, oh, I could lose here and keep going. No, like he's too old. Like this is his last shot. Now, can he keep fighting? Absolutely, but he's not. He's gonna just be your gatekeeper after this.
Yeah.
It's already a hard fight to take in general, as it is. I don't know. I it's really hard to state not knowing the behind the scenes of everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to see Wonderboy take on that role of just like, because you're entering that point of his career where like if he loses this, he immediately enters that like the journeyman.
Yeah, like if you be Wonderboy, you're a top 10 guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like every time he fights, you get the same like track card by the commentators where they're like, "This has been a vet in the UFC for years to come." That just lets you know like. This is the opponent's like prove it fight.
Yeah, right? That's exactly.
Yeah. It's his prove it fight. It's like, oh, we're gonna give you someone that's like real in the UFC now. Like this guy's been doing this. But yeah, I can't view Wonderboy like that yet. Maybe it's my age just rebuking that fact. But I would like to see him make one more run, especially if he gets a win tonight.
Who do you think takes it if they do fight?
Wonderboy, probably decision though. I just think their styles are or at least Pereira's is a little weird. Brazilians are always kind of like loosey goosey, like to dance around too much. But Wonderboy ain't the type to refuse a tango. He'll get down
dance.
A little bit.
Yeah, he'll dance.
Yeah, he'll dance. He likes to dance from time to time.
I think Wonderboy wins a really boring decision. That's my opinion on this fight. I know they're both awesome and electric, but sometimes when you get to that, it becomes boring because they're both so hesitant. I think he's just going to win with
a lot of feints.
Yeah, it's going to be a shit ton of but he's going to beat him with just a basic jab cross kick. I think that's going to happen. Pereira's going to try to do too much, and Wonderboy's going to keep it simple. He's the king of basics, bro. Like he's the greatest basic striker of all time. Like not in a negative way. Like I'm not shitting on him. I'm saying he doesn't throw crazy, stupid stuff. Everything he throws is purposeful.
He's smart.
Yeah. So that's what I'm taking. The fight we want to talk about probably the most is this next one, is our co-main event of the evening between Jan Blachowicz, Jan, former UFC light heavyweight world champion, coming in at -115, 29-9-1. Damn, he's had a lot of fights. Versus the former middleweight king, Alex Boatan Pereira, coming in at 7-2-0, -105. It's basically even odds. It's Pereira's first fight in the UFC light heavyweight, but don't forget this. Remember, he fought at heavyweight in kickboxing, so he's used to the size. 2 world champions going at it. Also, don't forget, Jan lost his title to the best friend and teammate of Alex Pereira, Glover Teixeira. Zach, I'm going to let you talk about it because I know you're a huge Pereira stan, and you've definitely been probably more hyped for this one than the main event.
Yeah, rightfully so. I just think the UFC has a lot riding on this fight. You know, what I'm most excited for, especially in this, is the UFC has yet to give Pereira like a dominant wrestler in any regards. Like they haven't given him anyone that like I I'm not gonna go out there and say, Jan is like a set in stone wrestler, doesn't do any other ways, because we've seen how devastating Jan's stand-up is, especially with his leg kicks. What really interests me about this fight is how these guys are going to utilize their leg kicks in this, because I've never seen anyone check as many leg kicks as Pereira. And I've also seen 2 guys with this strong and fast of leg kicks before. So they're literally probably just going to stand in the pocket and literally dismantle each other's legs, both for different reasons. I think Jan wants to slow Pereira down so that way he can set him up for takedowns and kind of just smother him. Whereas I think Pereira wants to utilize his leg kicks to keep the fight at a good distance and then hopefully chop that leg down so that he can't shoot for takedowns as much. I view Izzy and Pereira very similar in regards to like their fighting styles. And we already saw how Izzy and Jan went down. But the difference is Izzy didn't even try to go up and make weight. Whereas Pereira, this is
So he tried. He walks around 205.
Yeah.
Pereira walks around like 230.
Yeah. But when Izzy like walks in with like a box of pizza and he's like, nah, like it shows that like he really didn't like was like, I'm gonna try to bulk up as much as I can. And then Bogdan, he was like, I trust my weight, I just won't cut, which was like, it's understandable. Like if you know your own body and you're comfortable like with where you're at and you trust your abilities, more than fine. The only problem is he found out the hard way that there are some big bitches at light heavyweight.
There's a big jump from middleweight to light heavyweight.
Yeah. And I'm just most excited to see Pereira at this size, because with that weight gain, guys are a little bit slower than they were down in middleweight. So if they're a little more of a stationary target, his left hook is going to literally blow people's heads off.
He's a lefty that fights orthodox.
Yeah,
because he values his hook more than his cross.
Yeah, and he's like, I would rather just like have a stronger jab that I can just like fire off at any given second rather than just sit back. And I mean, it's not like it's that much of a difference. Like the dude's cross and his like
he switches stances hella too.
Yeah, he's so fluid. Like he's just an insane martial artist. I do hope this fight goes to the ground at one point, because I want to at least see his grappling ability. I know he took Izzy down, but that was more just like get fucked.
Yeah.
Like that was more so like I joined the sport later and I'm gonna beat you in the aspect that we didn't even fight out before. So I enjoyed that, but same thing how we brought up these other fights. This fight goes a definitive one or two ways. Pereira absolutely starches him in one of the most insane knockouts we've seen all year, and it's probably going to win performance of the night or knockout of the night. Or Jan is going to make this extremely boring and never let this man like not sniff the canvas. Like he's just going to stuff him in the ground and wrestle fuck him the entire time, which can't hate him for it, because I'm going to be honest, if anyone is smart enough, they wouldn't stand with a man.
I would not stand in front of Alex Pereira.
Ever. Like in any circumstance. Like if you get the thought in your mind that like, yeah, I could take this guy with my hands, he'll probably kill you.
But he'll let you throw a punch, and then he'll smile, and then your soul, he won't even touch you. Your soul will just leave your body.
You just suck it up from the other side.
You just stand there. You're like, what's going on? And your soul is
they do the face off. Pereira isn't even saying anything, and Jan is just like withering away, and they're like, "What are you doing?"
That's not allowed. That's not in the rules.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
This is another fight that it sucks to see someone lose. I like both these guys a lot. I like Jan a lot. He grew on me so much after he won the title, and I like Pereira a lot. They're both strong, big motherfuckers, dude. Go rewatch Jan Blachowicz versus Dom Reyes. He hits one kick on Dom, and it bruises up his whole rib cage from one kick. From one fucking kick, dude. He's just a monster. Some other factors I want to talk about too is this is not going to be a fight where Jan is going to be bigger than Pereira. He might be like a little thicker and like have a little more comfortability at that weight. But Pereira is not. It's not like he went from being an average middleweight to a small light heavyweight. No, he went from being the biggest middleweight of all fucking time to a normal size light heavyweight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
he's fighting where he's supposed to be. He literally
yeah.
just sacrificing his body to go after Izzy. He was like, here.
They're like, oh, breaking news: Israel Adesanya is going 170. He's like, I must do this.
Yeah, he's like, he has surgery to like shorten his femurs and like become shorter. He's like,
Israel Adesanya retires and takes out bowling. Alex Pereira in the next lane. No, but yeah, I love. They do respect each other too. I think it's mostly just jokes because Pereira doesn't like talking shit. He's like, he's like a really nice guy. He looks scary, but he's like a really like wholesome dude. Yeah. The other thing I really like, I'm sorry, you go.
Yeah, I was gonna say Izzy also said in an interview, I think it was on the MMA Hour, that he predicts Pereira is gonna win via knockout. He goes, he will knock him out. He goes, he's literally me but bigger.
Yeah,
he's like.
The other thing I like about him is like he's Brazilian, but he's more Amazonian. Like he wears all the paints. They go and worship. Like he's just a fucking scary dude. That being said, if Izzy couldn't stop his takedowns and all these other guys couldn't stop his takedowns, it's really easy to see Jan just go in there and take him down and destroy him for 3 rounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So give me Poatan by fucking knockout.
Yeah.
That's what we're rocking, baby. Jan's going to go in there. I'm telling you, this is exactly how it's going. I have the vision. I have the fucking vision. Jan's going to go out there. Jan should go out there and ragdoll him low-key. He should. Jan's going to go out there. He's going to try to dance with him. He's going to get hit once and be like, fuck this. Take him down first round. Poatan's going to have trouble getting up. He's going to get up. Boom, bingo. Second round comes. Jan's going to get stuffed. Get a little tired. Going to try again. Knocked out. Gone. Poatan. Raise his hands. I'm telling you, bro. I'm fucking telling you. I don't know what it is, but I'm so confident that he's going to win. I also think having your teammate, like you're like, you have teammates and then you have your training partner. Like you have your guy. You know what I mean? Like you have teammates and then you have your guy. His guy is Glover, who beat him, who beat Jan. So you don't think he knows what to fucking do? I mean, he did it. Also, I don't know if you guys know this, Glover's pretty fucking good at grappling. He's definitely going to help him out with his defense. And Sean Strickland's been working with him. I mean, Sean's wrestling's not great, but I mean, it's still you see the success that Sean had recently, and knowing that he's been working with Pereira, like I said, success spreads. So give me Poatan by fucking murder. And I love Jan, dude. He's a great family guy, and he's a really wholesome guy, and I really fucking respect him and like him a lot. It's just the Poatan era, bro.
Yeah.
It's the Alex Pereira era in the UFC, baby.
One of the things that I've gotten from rewatching Pereira's fights, because him and Izzy are very similar with their style of kickboxing, but what really differentiates between the two is Izzy's more of that counter striker where like he'll let you expose yourself and then he'll counter strike and have very precise and effective punches to take you down. Pereira is a extremely aggressive kickboxer. This man is constantly pushing forward. And I think, it does play into wrestlers a little bit because like if you press too hard, sets up for easy takedowns. But I think Pereira's smart enough to where, like you said, I think Pereira with that front left hand, I think he's going to catch him with a jab or a hook. It's going to stun Jan. Jan's going to be like, holy shit. He's like, I don't want any part of this. He's like, I do not want to dance. And he's going to get a little too lazy with the takedowns, or he's not going to be able to set him up as well. Maybe, another thing with Jan though is it's like, even when you check Jan's kicks, you end up breaking your own.
Yeah, they still suck. Like but Pereira too, bro. These guys aren't going to be able to walk after their fight.
Yeah, no. They're literally just going to batter each other's legs until they get tired of throwing kicks and they're like, I can't feel my shins anymore. And then it's going to go to the hands. And if you're giving me anyone in a hand-to-hand combat, I'm going to take Alex Pereira. Like, it's just how it is. Like, he's too big and too scared. Like, if I ran into him in the middle of the rainforest, I would think my life is ending as we know it.
That would be so. Imagine like being like a Nat Geo guy and you get lost in the rainforest and you don't know where you're going and you just see him with
Forrest Gallant.
Yeah, you're Forrest Galante and you're just like, fuck, I'm lost. And you just see Poatan with a fucking spear just painted up, just standing there breathing at you. There's like a dead lion on his feet and he's just like that.
No, he throws the spear at you, but it misses and you think he missed, but then you look behind you and there's just a cougar, yeah. pinned against a tree.
Follow me, brother. And you're like, fuck, dude, I don't know if I want to do this.
Yeah. It's like the scene in what was it, Hateful Eight, where like the Indian pulls up and he kills a deer and he's like, eat the heart. It's like, eat the heart if you want my friendship. And they're like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, dude. First, can we like exchange names? Like,
No.
but yeah, moving into our main event of the evening. This fight's a banger. People have been asking for it, and I mean us as well, Zach, for a long time. The BMF, what's it? I don't know. The BMF fight, lightweight main event rematch: Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje. Poirier minus 150, Gaethje plus 125, almost even odds. Poirier 29-7-0, Gaethje 24-4-0. These guys have the exact same career. They both beat everyone except each other. Well, I mean, Dustin beat him once, but like that was 5 years ago. They both beat everyone. Both had their time to rise versus Khabib, lost. Both went on a tear again, had their time to rise against Oliveira, lost. And now it's like, well, we're just fighting to see who's the second best in the division now.
Yeah.
Fuck, it's so hard to pick this fight, dude. I think it's 1,000,000% going to decision. I don't see either one of these guys knocking each other out. I just don't see it.
I'm on the opposite.
They don't get knocked out. They don't get knocked out though.
Now I agree with Dustin's take on it because a guy asked him, they're like, he was like, how do you think this will go if it goes to decision? He goes, I don't know, but I know me and Justin will be talking about it in the hospital because that's where we'll both be headed if this goes 5 rounds. He goes, we're just going to be in the hospital. That's
but they don't get finished. That's the problem. I'm gonna tell you right now, this has the potential to be the greatest fight you ever watched in your entire life. Both these guys, there's been no shit talking. They both respect the fuck out of each other. They both know what they're capable of. And they're both two of the best brawlers ever in the history of the sport. They're going to fucking slug it out. And it's going to be amazing. It's just who comes out of the slugfest on top.
Yeah.
I think Dustin's got a little more brawl in him, but Justin's a little more technical of a striker.
You know, when I reviewed their last fight, there's a great account on Twitter that I hope you guys follow. It's like the MMA commentary or something like that, and they break down careers before fights, and they were going over their first fight. And you know what Dustin did extremely well is he's very effective in throwing like 3 to 4 punch combinations, whereas Justin likes to utilize leg kicks and then throw like bomb overhands and like set up uppercuts. Like he's very like stun you with 1 or 2 strikes and then put you away from there. Whereas Dustin's like death by peppering. Like it's just like you're gonna get hit with a lot of really good boxing and you're just like it's gonna wear you down. And I think
about Dustin too is James Krause said this, and I've always been a big fan. Every time you hit Dustin once, he brings 3 back. So like that's the problem. He's like Max Holloway. There's just so much volume to keep up with. Like you land a cross, he's gonna hit you with 3. You know, and then he's gonna hit you with his 2. Then you're gonna hit him with 1. He's gonna hit you with 3. Like he responds every single time. There's never a time where, and it's high level, bro. Your cardio has to be so good. You have to be such a high level fighter for that. There's never a time Dustin just gets hit and then they move. No, he gets hit and he responds. So he always is winning volume wise. That's really hard to keep up with. But Gaethje might be able to slow that down with the leg kicks.
I hope Gaethje does what he does in the first fight where he brings out the cartwheel kick to try to knock him out, because I just remember that, like, watching it, and he got so close to landing it that I was like, I think the world would have imploded if that's how that fight would have ended. But like I said, you know, or like you said, excuse me, there's no like loser in this fight, at least for the fans' sake. Like no matter what, you're getting your money's worth. Like it's the main event over Pereira, Jan, for a reason. Although I wish they would, like, both these guys are main event worthy. I don't know why you put them on the same card. I guess you just want to stack one card for whatever.
This is the card of the year.
Yeah. There's just so much good about this card. And you know, the fact that it's for like some superlative belt, like it is what it is. We've kind of discussed our feelings about it. But, you know, I know we're going to do our like draft later, but I wanted to bring up not a draft, but a fun little way to think about it. On the way over here, I was thinking of, you know, we have the BMF belt, but what if we had like other superlative belts? So
before we dive into this though, we got to pick who we think's winning this fight.
Oh, I'm gonna go Dustin. He too crisp. They say what made me 100% believe that fact is like there was an interview that was brought up. It was like, oh, Justin is going to be a lot more patient and calmer fighter in this fight. I'm like, I've heard that every fucking Justin fight.
Yeah.
And then the problem is he goes out there and he does the same shit because that's what he's good at. Like you can't ask a guy to change what's made him good his whole career. It's just not favorable
Yeah, but did
against
you hear Dustin's response to that question?
no.
They were like, Justin's gonna come out much more peaceful. What do you think about that? He goes, he fucking better not, or I'm gonna punish him. He goes, I'm
Yeah.
coming with volume and violence, and that's what I'm expected to be met with. That's what he said.
Yeah. Like
It's just two of the. It's like it's fun to watch because it's kind of like a Super Bowl. Like it's just two of the highest level guys in the world doing what they do best against each other.
and both are here's the thing. Both of
It won't go to
their
the ground. It will not touch the ground the whole fight. It will not touch
I
the
know
ground.
exactly. Like that's what kills me is like Justin is a D1 wrestler and his body literally rejects wrestling.
Yeah.
Like if he even
He's
tries,
a
he's like,
Division One All American, one of the high. He never got. He wrestled Jordan Burroughs twice, never got taken down.
yeah. And he's just like, nah. And then Dustin Poirier, black belt jujitsu, nah.
Yeah, it's.
They use it. They use it to get back to the feet. That's all they learned it
This is
for.
my thing. I think Justin is a more technical, higher level fighter than Dustin right now, and I think it being on his home turf, kind of. He's in Utah, he's Colorado. The fans are gonna want Justin. It's just really hard to pick against Poirier, bro. Like he always finds a way to win. There's so many times where I think his opponent's better, and he finds a fucking way. He
Yeah.
really does.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go Dustin. Also, I think it's gonna go decision. I'm gonna go Dustin decision.
Yeah. War slugfest. Roy McDonald versus Robbie Lawler vibes.
No, it has that potential.
I pray.
Yeah.
Give me that. But anyway, back to our little like superlatives belts. I was thinking a couple on the way over here. A belt that I would like to see given out is the gatekeeping belt. I think right now Max Holloway
versus Jim Miller.
Yeah. I was gonna say Max Holloway just has the belt for now, just because the guy above
I
you
saw a
is just
tweet that was like, "How crazy is that if Alexander Volkanovski didn't exist, Max Holloway would be on a 15-fight win streak."
literally. But you give him the gatekeeper belt, and the only way you lose the gatekeeping belt is either A, you lose the fight, or you go on a 3-fight win streak fighting for the gatekeeper belt, and then you get to fight for the title again. And then you simply trade belts, win or lose.
The nicest motherfucker, Stephen Thompson, Wonder Boy. That one's already been well known. You could do a battle of the most unlikable.
Ooh.
Colby Covington, maybe.
For Sean Strickland.
Yes. Oh, that's a good one. What are some other ones?
The journeyman's belt. You just put like Tony. You put Tony versus Cub Swanson more time.
That'd be fucking sick.
You throw them out there and they're like, fuck it. They're just gonna do old man shit out there for like 30 minutes.
You could have the Dana kisses my ass belt between Conor McGregor and Holly Holm.
But Conor gets to be on an unlimited amount of steroids.
Same with Holly.
Yeah. But Conor has to win via whatever he predicts before the fight.
I'm trying to think. I feel like there's one we're missing.
That's a good.
You could have like the worst personalities. There's some boring ass dudes out there.
You could do worst personality. Oh, what was I gonna say? I was saying it has something to do with like the Crone Gracies, where it's just like you either could call it like the pillow hand belt or like someone that like refuses to stand up and fight, like any the butt scooter belt.
The butt scooter belt. I like that.
Yeah, just a scooter. Like anyone that refuses to like fight standing up, it's Crone Gracie versus Duplessis, and you just have them go out there and they can just pull guard against each other for an hour. Whoever wins gets to bring it home.
Yeah. That's everything. UFC 291. Check us out and let us know what you think. Check box.
I saw two more things. I think I DM'd them to you. Oh, Chael Sonnen's gonna be in the booth for this fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, forgot about that.
First time in 16 months.
Yeah, that'll be really exciting. I'm glad he's finally coming back. I think the UFC did a terrible job just like not being able to bring him on earlier. I think he's so funny, and he's a guy that's also a highly touted throughout his career. He's never lost a round, so he obviously has some very important things to say. I think another thing we didn't really touch on a lot is our growing love for Sean Strickland. We brought him up a little bit,
Yeah,
but
we are he is growing on me a lot. Now that I understand why he is the way he is, he's growing on me.
yeah, I don't know if you guys saw this, but this man literally took to Twitter and posted a photo with tears in his eyes. And you would think that like someone close to him died, but then he realized that Keith Lee was gonna come avenge his brother, and he may have the chance to just put his hands on another man. And he dropped this
No,
tweet.
Kevin Lee was going to avenge Keith Lee.
Oh yeah.
It's not happening now though.
Oh yeah, which is sad. But Sean was like getting into it with people on Twitter, and he brought up some great points. He was like, um, I just want to live out some fantasies of violence, smaller and weaker, so I can really make some dreams come true. And he goes, wanting to fight weak, and then someone said to him, wanting to fight weaker people is actually very weak of you. And he goes, I fight the best. He goes, I fight the best people in the world. When you love violence, sometimes it's nice to paint on a different canvas.
That's
You have to
tough.
be if someone went up to you and was like, I want to paint you on a different canvas, I would probably run away.
Dude,
I,
he's an interesting cat for sure.
yeah. Thank God for the UFC, because if not, this man would probably be in jail for murdering people. To be honest, this is just sanctioned sociopaths locked in cages. So for our benefit, it's nice. I kind of wish there was now a fighting show where you put death row inmates in a cage and like a death match, and it's just like whoever doesn't die.
No, I would be so for that.
Yeah, you
I
just
would be
like
so for that. I would watch
yeah,
it. I would literally
yeah,
watch it. Is that
yeah,
fucked to say?
yeah. Maybe not a fight for their freedom kind of thing, because you definitely don't want them back on the
No,
streets.
no, 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 no. Just fight for life in prison.
Yeah, you fight
They're
for
fighting for life.
yeah. Or every time you win your like death match fight, you get like a privilege.
No, I just think you
Yeah,
get two of them and they fight. They don't fight to the death. They fight like an MMA fight, and then the
I think you should be to
loser.
death.
Yeah, but you can't do that. You can't do that in
Why?
America. No one
Why?
can do that.
All right, so we outsource it to North Korea.
That could happen.
Yeah. And we make it like officially no rules. Like punch to the balls, eye gouges, just straight like
No, no, you're just in a cage. There's no, just you and another guy in your underwear, and you fight to the death. There's no time. There's no ref. Like that's it.
no, we're, fuck the underwear. We give them one loin cloth. Like the old Spartans. We just give them a loin
That
cloth.
would be sick. That
And
would be sick. And then if it's been like 45 minutes and no action's happening, you just throw a knife in there.
yeah, you
Throw a
throw
knife in there.
you let him pick one trainer for like 6 weeks. Like
No,
you get
no
6
trainer's gonna coach these guys, dude. No trainer's gonna coach these guys.
You don't think so?
No, no way. These guys are in there for horrible, horrible, horrible things. No trainer's gonna coach these guys.
No, it's true. It's true.
But
We
yeah,
got
let's
we got
wrap. Let's wrap this up.
yeah. 2FC 291. Don't miss it. I promise you'll really regret it if you miss it. Other than that, shout out Pereira. Not Michael though. Fuck Michael.
Yeah. Shout out Alex Boletan.
Shout out those that make weight.